Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Hugo, and today we're going to learn how to create an Azure function and call it using Logic Apps. And today I'm going to have Stewie to help me around. Stay there. Okay guys, so the first thing that we're going to do today is to open the Visual Studio, and we're going to create an Azure function through Visual Studio. In the previous video, as you can see on the link above, we've created an Azure function using the Azure portal. And here we're going to use Visual Studio. So let's open Visual Studio. And I'm going to create a new project. So I'm going to select Azure Function. I'm going to click Next. I'm going to put the name Function App Logic. It's already there. And click Create. And it's going to create a folder with the same name. So in this case, what we're going to select the HTTP trigger. So now we have our first function. So one of the things that we're going to do now is actually check if, okay, so we have all the usings, meaning that we have all the dependencies on the project. We don't need to have any dependency, but matter of fact, what we're going to use, we're not going to use the code that we have here. Now what we're going to do, you're going to have the link on the description. We're going to my function, which is called Function App Logic, and we're going to copy the entire code from here and paste. Now, since we have all the code here, what we need to do is to actually test. I'm going to check here one more thing, which is to see if the namespaces are correct. Okay, we have the namespaces correct, it's fine. Save the project and we're going to run. And it should open console app, which is here. Very well. And we have now this address. So, and this address will tell me that everything should be working. And I'm going to open here. New site. Okay, so it's requesting for a body, which I didn't declare anything. How I can do this, it's actually using Postman. So I'm going to open Postman here. Actually, in the previous video, I'm telling you how you can use Postman. So now I'm going to put here raw. I'm going to put here my JSON and send, and I should have 200. Okay. Okay. So here we have the retrieve of my request. Very well. So the project is running. It's okay. What we're going to do now is actually to publish on Azure Function. So I'm going to click here, right click on the project, publish. I'm going to choose Azure. I'm going to choose Azure Function App, Windows, refresh. Okay, it seems that I don't have anything created, so what we're going to do now, we're going to the portal. And I'm going to create a function here. Oops. Function app. So I'm going to create the first function app. I'm going to choose always as demo again. I just function app. Shouldn't exist. Oh, so I'm going to select a different thing. Function app. Okay. Great code. Very well. Okay. Now we're going to select .NET Core, the stack, 3.1 version, and central. No, we're going to select here North. We're going to select here North Europe. Clicking review. Something wrong on the tab. Next. Windows consumption. We're going to use the same storage. So you need to have a storage created first. Okay. So what's the problem with the storage? And create. And this may take a while. Okay, we have everything created. Functions, we don't have anything. Now we're going to publish a function on this function app. So let's go back to Visual Studio. Let me close this. So now we would refresh. Actually, the resource group is not called demo, it's something else. It's in this case it's function Hugo Silva function app, and we hit finish. We may create through Visual Studio as well, but I prefer to do it on the portal. And now we're going to publish, but first of all we need to set up here the storage. Select the storage, click next. Okay, he's creating an ID and a key. And now, since we don't have any exclamation mark, we can click and publish. Okay, now since he published, we don't have any error. Everything was successful. We're going back to the portal and we're going to refresh. Okay, and we have here the function. So you're going to click the function, and I'm going to get the URL just to check if this is working okay. We're going back to Postman. So on Postman, we're going to change this. I'm going to check if the body is okay, and let's hit send. And we have a retrieve. So it's working now. So we have now published everything in the portal. So now let's go to the next steps. So in the portal, what we're going to do now is to create a logic app. It's the next step. And we have here, create a new logic app. So now we're going to click here and demo. Once again, we're going to create a logic app. We're going to call Azure Logic App, region North Europe, okay, and next. Create. And we go to the resource. Okay, okie dokie. And now what we're going to do, you're going to create when the HTTPS request is received. I'm going to explain you this later. So now we hit save and we get this URL. And now what we're going to do, we're going to get exactly the same JSON that we've done before when we called with Postman. And we're going to click here, use sample to upload. We hit this and it's going to generate the JSON for me. So we're going to have an ID, we're going to have a name, which is a string, and we're going to have an URL, which is a string as well. We can have some like country or some boolean like yes or no, and we could have change here as string instead of string. It could be integer or boolean, whatever. So the next step, since we got the HTTP request, we're going to create a JSON parse, because we need to parse the JSON that as a response from the function app. Parse JSON. Maybe this will work better. Data operations, okay. And parse JSON. And we're going to put here exactly the same thing, copy paste, so you can understand what is the schema. So now we're going to put a condition. This condition is, in case if one of the videos has my name, Hugo Silva, it's going to change a variable to yes or no. So let's go here, condition, control, condition, and we have now two conditions. What we're going to put here on this condition, first of all, on the condition, what we're going to do here is the name. We're going to get the name. And if the name contains Hugo Silva, what is it going to do? So I'm going to create a variable here, initialize a variable first, but the initialized variables need to be in the beginning of the flow. So in this case, I can initialize a variable here. What I'm going to do now, I'm going after the request. Let's cancel this. After the request, I'm going to create an action. This action is going to initialize the variable. So now I'm going to call this variable call function flag. So I'm going to create a flag yes or no, so I can change the variable here on my condition. Initial value, I'm not going to put in anything, and now here on my condition, I'm going to change the value of that flag. Variables, I'm going to set a variable. In this case, I'm going to call my function flag, and I'm going to say true. And now on the false, I'm going to do the same thing, but as a false. Call the function flag and false. Okay, so every single logic app needs to finish with a response. So I'm going now to create a response. I'm going to create a response. So I'm going to get the 200, but on the response I want to include a few more things. And here I'm going to create a JSON response called function. Called function, in this case called function. I'm going to put equal to the flag if it's true or not, comma, and now the name that's going to be answered on this response, which is name here. Okay, so now I hit save and I'm getting an error. So let's check what's the error. Okay, yeah, I forgot here to put the parse, which is the body. Sorry, not this, it's the body actually. And it's save, that's it, and we should be good to go. So this was the second step, and now we're going for the third step, which is call this logic app. So I'm going to create another logic app. This one, demo. This one is going to call the Azure Logic App. I think this is the name. We create. Now we go back to our resource. And this logic app is going to be a recurrence. So I'm going to put 1 minute no, I'm going to put 1 month, intervals of 3, that's fine. And I'm going to now call my logic app. So this is actually the main logic app that's going to call the daughter logic app, which is the one that we created before, which is, we're going to put here logic app, which is here already. We're going to pick, and now we can put an ID. So here we're going to put ID 1, name Hugo, and Hugo Silva, YouTube for example. I'm going to copy here the stuff from here. Okay, and now we just hit save. So this now is going to call the other logic app. The other logic app is going to call the function, and then we should have that information back as a response. So we are running now. Okay, it passed everything. That's good. So now let's go back to the other logic app. Let's click here. Let's check if everything went well. Let's check here. And we have 2 successes. Very well. We're going to click here and we see that everything passed. So we have here true, means that my condition is true because he found my name on the request that we sent. And now we should have here on the response, we should have the callback that is here. So actually the name, okay, the name was found. This was a name found. And we have XSX run. So now let's change this a bit. Let's change the names to see what's going to happen. So now let's put here a different name. Let's say Stewie Griffin, and let's hit save and run. And now we go back to our app and let's check the response. This should be the one. And we have a false because he won't find my name. And here we have Stewie Griffin. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this step by step. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button because we're going to receive every single week new stuff. And the next one, I'm going to integrate Power Apps with Logic Apps. We're going to have a little bit of fun, maybe with Stewie or not, I don't know. But stay around, and once again, thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.